Good morning, people. It's the first Sunday of the new year, 2022. Yay! Let's get our praise on this morning.
This is the story of Shatina Marie Watson, a 43-year-old woman from Richlands, North Carolina, who was brutally murdered by her lovely husband of 5 years, Michael Watson. Michael, who was a felon, hid all his criminal records from her before she married him. 5 years after their marriage, he showed his true colors before carrying out this brutal crime. He shot her point blank and left her for dead. He fled his home state to another state, which led to the beginning of a national manhunt. Hello and welcome to Twisted Crimes. Subscribe and hit the like button for more stories. Based on this story, we will be heading to Richlands, North Carolina. Richlands is a small, rural town located in eastern North Carolina. It has a cozy, friendly atmosphere that makes it enjoyable to live in.
Good morning, everybody. It's Christmas Eve. Yay! I am just so ready to spend time with my family and enjoy my time off and just relax. So I just wanted to get here and say Merry Christmas to everybody. Enjoy yourselves. Bye.
Shatina Marie Watson was born on April 23, 1979, in Saginaw, Michigan. She was the eldest of 4 children and grew up in a religious and musical family.
Good morning. Just wanted to encourage everybody this morning. There's a song that was on my heart. It says, "While I am waiting for my change to come, I will trust God. While I'm waiting for my change to come, I will trust God. I will trust God."
She went to East Duplin High, then later studied at University of North Carolina Wilmington. She met a young man named Michael Watson. Things started going down the drain at a point in time. He became hostile and almost crazy. Michael's abusive behavior towards Shatina escalated over time, as he became more jealous and paranoid towards her. He isolated her from her friends and family, preventing or discouraging her from going to work, church, or social events. He monitored her phone calls and texts, checking her phone without her permission and asking her about who she was talking to. He accused her of cheating on him, even though she was faithful and loyal to him. Michael also physically assaulted her on several occasions, hitting, kicking, choking, or throwing objects at her. He left her with bruises and scars and also threatened to harm her children, or her pets if she ever tried to leave him or report him to the authorities. He also forced or pressured her to have sex with him. He blamed Shatina for his violent behavior or told her that she deserved it. On June 2, 2022, Shatina and Michael had an argument at their home in Richlands. According to Shatina's sister, the argument was triggered by a phone call that Shatina received from her old friend, who invited her to attend a reunion in Michigan. Michael overheard the conversation and became suspicious that Shatina was planning to leave him for someone else. He confronted her and demanded to see her phone, but she refused. He then grabbed her phone and smashed it on the floor. Shatina was furious and told him that she had enough of his abuse and that she wanted a divorce. She also said that she was going to take their children with her and move back to Michigan, where she had a supportive family and friends. Michael felt betrayed and humiliated and decided to kill Shatina. He shot Shatina multiple times with a handgun. He then left her body in their bedroom and took off with his car. Michael sent a text message to Shatina's sister, confessing that he had killed Shatina. He also called his mother and told her the same thing. He then drove to Ohio, where he had relatives. He contacted them and asked them if he could stay with them for a while. They agreed, not knowing what he had done. The investigations into the murder of Shatina began as soon as the Onslow County Sheriff's Office received a call from Shatina's sister. The deputies arrived at the couple's home on Huffmantown Road and found Shatina's body in their bedroom with multiple gunshot wounds. They also found evidence of a struggle and blood spatter in the house. They issued a warrant for Michael's arrest and alerted the public that he was armed and dangerous. The investigators collected evidence from the crime scene, including blood samples, fingerprints, DNA, tools, weapons, and plastic bags. They also interviewed witnesses, neighbors, and relatives of the victim and the suspect. The investigators tracked Michael's whereabouts using his phone records, his car registration, and his credit card transactions. They discovered that he had driven to Ohio. They contacted the U.S. Marshals Service and requested their assistance in locating and apprehending Michael. They also contacted the Ohio State Highway Patrol and the Columbus Police Department and asked them to be on the lookout for Michael's car. On June 3, 2022, the U.S. Marshals Service found Michael at his cousin's house in Columbus. They surrounded the house and asked him to give himself up, which he did without any trouble. Michael confessed to the crime of first-degree murder. Then, he was sent back to North Carolina and taken to the Onslow County Jail.
For a man accused of shooting and killing his wife is over. Michael Watson now under arrest. Deputies finding him late this morning, and now he's charged with the murder of his wife, Shatina Watson. Star Connor talked to one of the victim's friends, Shatina Watson's pastor, to learn how she's being remembered in her community.
Pastor Jamison Johnson says Shatina Watson will be truly missed. Johnson says that Shatina was a part of his choir at his church and that he will miss her beautiful soul, her beautiful voice, and her personality. Crime scene tape still sits on the front doors where 43-year-old Shatina Watson's life was cut short. For her pastor Jamison Johnson, no words can describe the heartache his church family is feeling.
In disbelief, still in absolute disbelief. To know someone practically your whole life and her entire family in disbelief.
Investigators with the Onslow County Sheriff's Department arrested Watson's husband, Michael Watson, Friday. Deputies say they found Shatina Thursday inside of her home off Hoffmanton Road. She'd been shot and killed. Johnson says Shatina was a mother of 3. He says he grew up going to school with her and says that she had a beautiful gift of singing. Johnson says it's going to be hard not hearing the voice of an angel inside of the Mount Church ever again.
She loved God. She loved her family. She was the epitome of what love looked like, and what a caring soul looked like. She was the definition of that, the definition of a worshiper, and just a person that you would just want to be around and absorb her, her caring, loving spirit.
Sheriff Hans Miller says they found Watson early Friday inside of a car on Garganius Road about 20 miles from the original crime scene and arrested him. Pastor Johnson says he will pray for Watson, who is now behind bars.
A lot of people are dealing with a lot of things these days that we just don't understand. But all I can do for this time and this season that people are struggling mentally and things is really pray for them and, show them the grace of God.
Sheriff Miller says Watson is facing first-degree murder charges.
The police said that they don't know the exact motive behind Michael's brutal crime, but they believe that he killed Shatina out of anger and resentment. They said that he was unhappy with their marriage and felt threatened by Shatina's success and independence. Michael's trial began in September 2022 at the Onslow County Superior Court. The prosecution presented evidence from the crime scene. They also presented testimonies from witnesses, neighbors, and relatives of the victim and the suspect. They sought the maximum penalty for his crime, which was either life imprisonment without parole or the death penalty. The defense argued that he had a mental illness and was emotionally disturbed when the crime happened. They said he acted out of extreme emotions because Shatina threatened to take away his children and ruin his life. The defense asked for a plea deal, suggesting second-degree murder, which would lead to 25 years in prison with parole possible after 20 years. However, the jury deliberated for 2 hours and found Michael guilty of first-degree murder. As a result, the judge sentenced him to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Now, he awaits transfer to state prison from the Onslow County Jail. Shatina's family and friends were heartbroken by her death and expressed their grief and outrage on social media. They said that Shatina was a wonderful person who didn't deserve such a horrific fate. They said that Michael was a coward who robbed them of their loved one and then tried to escape justice. They said that they hope that he gets the maximum punishment for what he did to Shatina.
While I'm waiting for my change to come, I will trust God. I will Trust God.
Our sincere condolences to the friends and families of Shatina Watson. May Shatina's memory be a blessing for her family and for all who knew her, and may her life and death be an inspiration and a turning point towards justice and increased protection for domestic abuse survivors. Please stay safe out there and see you guys in the next video.